Okay, cool. Sick. Awesome. Well, that's good to know. Thanks, AMOG. I really appreciate that. So, anyways, as I was saying, guys, thanks for tuning in. Um, yeah, thanks for tuning in. So, in today's stream, guys, I actually want to cover, as you guys know, I went on Pearl's podcast. All right. Super cool chick. I've known her for like 4 or 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years now. I've known her for a long time. And she made me the favor of going out there. And so when I was out there, we were just talking. Okay. Little did I know, the red pill audience is full of faggots. I couldn't believe the mentality that these guys have. And I want to talk about that today, and I want to discuss it and my thoughts on all the comments on that video and the comments on my Instagram post, because there's going to be a lot of posts about this. Okay, going forward, guys, I've been posting a lot of POVs, right? You see them here, how to escalate, right? Boom, probably my most popular video is how to escalate, right? These type of videos where you see me on the outside and you see me like pulling chicks, right, with like a message with some advice on the side. So those are the type of videos that have really been popping off for me. But I'm gonna start doing more podcasts with people in the red pill space, in the manosphere, and all these spaces. And so let me know who you want me to go on with, and I'll go ahead and go on, and we'll just discuss whether it's a debate, whatever it is. I don't really care. But so I went on Pearl's podcast, right? Huge red pill audience, bunch of incels, bunch of fucking incels. It's unbelievable how many fucking incels there are. All right. And so one thing that I want to cover is that hate. There's so much hate. All right. So shout out Jordan Nope, commenting legend, right? But this comment right here is actually quite hilarious right here. So, bro, that isn't impressive. Any intermediate level can do that. Any intermediate level can pull 3 girls back to back. This is how delusional fucking guys are. All right. All right. So yeah, if I had time and money, all right, if I had time and money, I would get laid 2 times per day with different girls. But 9 to 5 drops energy and there is no free lunch. Any activity has a cost involved. And so this is what I think, right? If I had time and money, all these fucking bullshit excuses. If I had time and money. All right. When I met Pearl and when she saw me pull those 3 girls that weekend, I had a 9 to 5 job. Okay. I had a full corporate job. And not even that, I was pretty high up in the corporate ladder. So these type of bullshit excuses that, oh, if I had this and if I had that, I would be doing the same. Yeah. Okay. Fucking go do it then. Go get the time, go get the money, and then go do it. All right. And so let's take a look at this guy's profile, right? Because you look at this fucking guy's like, I looked at him, I was like, he better have some shit down. He better have his fucking shit together for all I know. All right. And then I look down and it's this fucking guy. He's 31 in Brazil. Bro, if I lived in Brazil, are you fucking kidding me? Those girls will fuck you for some fucking cornbread and coconuts. If I lived in Brazil, bro, I'd be fucking getting laid twice a day as well. And you're fucking making excuses about money and time? Brother, everybody in Brazil has time. Nobody gives a fuck about money in Brazil. Anyways, I take a look at this guy. Shout out because he's following me. I don't mean to talk shit, but I got to give you a reality check here, brother. All right. All right. First of all, you ain't going to be pulling shit with that hairline. All right. Just being serious here. You're not going to be pulling shit with that hairline. All right. You got to fix that shit. All right. You look like a charismatic guy. All right. But there's no reason to hate, man. There's no reason to fucking hate. Especially if you're in Brazil. Right? Come on, buddy. You're better than that. All right? Especially at 31 years old. How is your big ass self at 31 years old still going to be hating? You're probably married. But it's okay. All right? I want to address the YouTube comments. And then I want to go ahead and actually talk about advice on the seduction Reddit. Because some of this seduction Reddit advice is just fucking terrible. But anyways, let me know what you guys actually want to see so I can actually fucking show you this stuff. All right. But just in general, I find it so funny that guys act like this online. It's just quite hilarious to me. And yes, I do a mastermind. Well, actually, I don't do a mastermind, but I do have a group coaching program. Just click the link in my bio, and then that'll take you to book a call with me, and then we can talk about it. But it's just so funny to me that these guys are fucking hating online like that. I never understood why. All right, but let's actually cover what I said I was going to cover. I wanted to actually cover the podcast and the comments that I saw, because these incels are on a fucking level, man. These type of incels that comment this type of shit from Pearl's podcast is actually fucking insane. So let's go ahead and cover that. Sorry, not YouTube to MP3, guys. Don't tell anybody that I've been downloading music illegally. All right, go to YouTube and let's check this shit out, right? Because this is actually, I was laughing when I saw these comments. Okay, it looks like Pearl's live right now, so let's actually go to her channel and see what she did. Okay, so let's get it live. There we go. So we're gonna address these comments. Look at that fucking stud. Who the fuck is that stud? That's me, guys. All right. So, I hope you guys can see the comments, but I'm gonna put it more over here. Okay. So yeah, hopefully you guys can see it, right? So I give it a shout out, Pearl, again for having me on. All right. So one of the things that I wanted to discuss, right? Because it's, again, guys, I am a dating coach. I'm not here to fucking sugarcoat shit for you. Okay. I'm here to give you a fucking reality check so I can make sure that you guys pull. Okay. What does a reality check include? Okay. Everything. I don't even know where to start. It includes literally fucking everything. All right. And I want to let you guys know before I even dive into this, I wasn't always this fucking guy that was in shape, right? No. Last year, I weighed 250 pounds. I was at 40% body fat, all right? And because I had so much stress on me, I had a huge bald spot here on the side of my head. I'm talking like 33% of my head was gone, all right? Thankfully, it came back. But I was 40%, 35, 40% body fat. I had a huge bald spot on the side of my head. And I was still pulling girls. I was still getting girls. Okay? Now, that being said, I took a hard look at myself. I said, dude, I cannot continue being this much of a fat fuck. I have to lower my body fat. I have to get better, right? I have to manage my stress better. If I want to be a dating coach, I have to manage my stress, right? And I have to do what it takes. And so I had to coach myself for that year. It was a tough year, but it takes a lot more than a tough year to get back at me. All right. So anyways, when I was on Pearl's podcast, one of the things that guys misunderstood, because the dating scene is tough. I get it, guys. It's hard to go out there and get girls to like you, right? It's hard to work on yourself. It's hard to be a career-driven man. It's hard to do all these things. I get it. I know it is. But life is competitive. You guys have to understand nothing in your life is going to come easy. Nothing. No matter what it is. As a matter of fact, I found this interesting study that at any point in human history, at any point, 20 to 80%, okay, 20 to 80% of men have failed to reproduce at any given point in human history. Okay? Just Google it. Go out and go. I'll Google it for you. Right? Percentage of men failed to reproduce. Right? Let's fucking take a look at it. Throughout history. Right? Percentage. All right, what the hell's going on? Right? Look at this, right? Just off Bing, right? If you guys don't use Bing, I use Bing because I'm using my PC. But around 40% of men have failed to reproduce throughout history. 40%. That means there's 6 of you watching. Maybe 1 of you will not reproduce in your lifetime, statistically speaking. 40 fucking percent of men throughout history have failed to reproduce. And I want you to think about that, right? Back in the day, what do we have? We had famines, we had war, right? We had fucking a ton of environmental disasters we couldn't control. And why would you not reproduce now? Because you're a fucking incel that makes up excuses on why you're a bitch. oh, all girls are whores. Oh, I'd rather be alone in my own peace than going out there and getting girls because I'm such an alpha. Shut the fuck up. That does not make any sense. So, if you're watching this, if you're watching my live stream right now, and if you followed my YouTube and Instagram content, congratulations, because you will be in the 60% that does reproduce. Okay? In the 60% of reproduction, you're going to be successful because you can actually be self-reflective and you could actually say, wait a second, something's not wrong with me. I need to learn how to approach. Right? Yes. Is the dating scene shitty because a lot of girls have OnlyFans? Is it shitty because of birth control and all girls are a little bit more promiscuous than maybe 50, 60 years ago? Well, yeah. But 50, 60 years ago, maybe 100 years ago, you had to go fucking drafted to the Vietnam War or World War II. So either way, you weren't going to reproduce, motherfucker. So you actually have to take that into consideration. The only reason you wouldn't reproduce nowadays is if you make shit decisions, you become an incel, and you decide that you're going to be a bitch for life because you're too afraid to learn how to approach, you're too afraid to be competitive, and you're too afraid to lose. You have all those fucking three things, and you're fucked, right? I want you guys to understand that. I really, really, really want you guys to understand those are the only reasons you wouldn't reproduce nowadays, okay? Any given point in history throughout mankind, 20 to 80% of people haven't reproduced. And so now the choice is yours. Do you want to be an incel just because you use it as a coping mechanism because you don't want to approach, you don't want to learn how to build attraction, and then maybe you got denied, maybe an incel. This is how guys become incels, all right? They go out and then they get rejected by a girl, and then they go, oh, all girls are whores, she's hypergamous, wee. That's what they do. That's literally how they become incels. All right. So shout out to all the guys. If you actually put in the work and if you actually try to become competitive in the dating landscape, because the reality of the matter is things aren't going to get any better for you. All right. So the longer you wait to address your problems with attraction, communication, flirting, making her feel comfortable, getting your shit together, losing 50 pounds, smelling good, taking a fucking shower, for Christ's sakes. Guys, there's some guys that I have to remind to brush their teeth every fucking day. Right? Think about how fucking retarded that is. All right? But anyways, so this is what creates incels. It's a coping mechanism because they don't feel like they're enough, and so they rather blame women and the world and why it's not worth it to get better. It's almost like, I like to compare it to, like, imagine having no job. Okay, imagine being jobless. Okay, you have no job, and then yes, you're in a recession for sure. You're in a recession. Okay, you have no job. There's a recession going on, but you decide to stay home even though you have bills to pay because, well, I don't want to go apply for jobs because all employers are shit and they're all bullshit employers. They're all gonna tell me no anyways. I'd rather stay and be homeless. That's the literal equivalent of how they're looking at the dating scene. And so let's read some of these comments, right? Because I didn't want to give the impression that I was gaslighting these men. No, they need a reality check, okay? A lot of guys need a reality check. I mean, good for you. If you're watching this, you're probably going to be in the 60% of guys that do reproduce. Because you're self-reflective, you realize there's something wrong with you, you realize your communication skills aren't that good, you realize your flirting's not that great, and you want to reproduce, you want to find a good girl. Now, is it harder to find a good girl? Yes, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. That's 100% accurate. Okay? Now, she's not going to come to you. The needle's not going to come to you, guys. All right? Girls will not come to you because you have your shit together. All right? They're not. I'm sorry. Unless you're a fucking celebrity, which is basically the top 1% of men, girls will not come to you. And majority of these guys, majority of incels are not going to be celebrities. Majority of you watching me, right? We will not achieve that level of status. And so this matters a lot because, okay, fine. Okay, let's say they do find the girl of their dreams. That's a good girl. You think being an incel for the past 5 years, 10 years is going to help them get that girl? Or Or am I going to get the girl, the guy who has been studying women, attraction, flirting, working on himself, and doing all these things above and beyond? Is that guy going to get the good girl? Of course. Of fucking course. And so these guys don't understand that you cannot deny, you cannot ignore your communication skills, your ability to make them feel good, your ability to flirt. Okay? You cannot ignore those factors, because even if you do find a good girl, she's going to end up abandoning you. She's going to be like, oh, this guy's he's so fucking boring. And I could guarantee you that those fucking incels that say, oh, I don't want to go out and date because all women are whores. Those fucking incels are also making excuses. They're also coping. They're also afraid to lose in other areas of life, probably in their careers. They're probably making excuses. They're always blaming the world for fucking everything. It's been in my experience, because I talk to a lot of you guys. Like, literally, I talk to you guys probably 3-4 times. I talk to 3 or 4 of you guys every day for about an hour, 2 hours each. That's my full-time job. Just talking to you. Boom, boom, boom. Seeing what's wrong with you. And every now and then, there's an incel that slips through the cracks. All right? There's an incel that slips through the cracks, and he's just making excuses for the world. Why didn't you get that promotion? Well, my boss liked the other guy better, and, I gave it my all, and this and that. Bunch of fucking incels making excuses all the damn time. Guys, stop making excuses. So let's read the rest of the comments. Right, this guy says he's very much gaslighting men who have it hard. No, I am not. I am not gaslighting the men who have it hard. Okay, guys, I coach so many guys who have it so hard. They have it insanely tough. All right? I am not gaslighting men who have it hard. As a matter of fact, if you have it hard, you have to work 10x as harder. And if you've had it hard, I had it hard growing up. That's why I work so fucking hard now. If you've had it hard, you should know by now that, one, you've either learned to work really fucking hard, and that distinguishes you from the other guys, right? Think about it like this. In high school, there's 2 types of students in high school, right? Or in college as well. Guys who are naturally smart. They just have raw intelligence. They've been good at school their whole life. And then there's guys who weren't really that smart, and so they had to study extra time. They had to learn how to study to get good grades. Right? The second guy, the latter, will always perform better in life because he's used to working hard and being at a downside. The guy who is always naturally smart, when things get tough, he's not going to know how to handle that. And so that's what happens in the same scenario, right? I'm not gaslighting men who have it hard. I have to say that if you guys learn to fight it, you're going to be that much better positioned than the guys who have it easy. I'll give you one example. There's been so many times where I see guys in a boot camp when I train in person on these dating seminars that the, below average guy always takes the girl from the Chad because the Chad doesn't know how to fight hard for a girl he likes. It happens all the fucking time. Right? The Chad doesn't care. I mean, he does care to a degree, but he doesn't know how to manage that because he's never had to manage that. He's never had to manage a guy coming up to his girl and saying hi. Right? It never happens. And so I always see every single time one of my students who's below average height, however you want to describe it, he always goes up to that girl with the Chad and ends up taking her. Okay? Because he doesn't know how to react, right? For him, it's easier to walk away. The same way these incels walk away from the dating scene when it gets tough. It happens all the time, right? So one comment that I made during the podcast, guys, was that simping should be illegal. All right, that's what I said. I said, guys, simping should be. Why does my camera look fucking blurry? What the fuck is this? All right, hold on. All right, there we go. So one thing I said is that simping should be illegal. That's what I said, and it should be. Like, simping should be fucking illegal. You should get a fine at the very least, like a parking ticket or something. Think about it. Think how many less simps there would be if you had to go in front of a judge and say, yes, Your Honor, I was simping for that woman in front of a court of 12. I don't know how many people there are on jury. That'd be a little embarrassing, right? And then imagine you're the ultimate simper. Imagine you simp so hard, you're in the fucking back of a milk carton box. Just imagine that. Would you simp? I wouldn't. So, I said that a lot of these guys who are making these comments, a lot of the guys that are saying, oh, he's gaslighting men, right? Bro, dating isn't an accomplishment, right? All this stuff, right? This guy's saying that I lied, right? So now go back into that. But a lot of these guys who are saying, oh, dating's not worth it, they're still beating their meats to fucking pornography, right? If they truly didn't care, they wouldn't be beating their meats to porn. They wouldn't be fucking liking girls of throwing ass in the back. And I could guarantee you, if I tell these fucking faggots, show me your explore page on Instagram, you know what would happen? It would be full of ass. It would be full of simping cues. That's what happens. I know, because I've met these guys in person and I've challenged them on this in person. So anyways, I digress. But yeah, see, this guy says social skills are a two-way street, which means that not only guys but also girls should have social skills, and this is 100% true. However, he fails to realize that women have had social skills since they were fucking 12, 13 years old. Right? Think about it. Women have been getting hit on by men since age 12, 13. Right? Think about it. You're a guy, right? Just think about you watching this, right? You growing up. You had a crush on this girl when you were in 6th grade. And you had a crush on that girl only. Right? Just, what up, Rob? Shout out, Rob. You had a crush on that girl only. But not only you did have that crush on that girl, all of 6th grade had a crush on that girl. And so the entire fucking class was hitting on that girl for 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, senior year, college years. And then she graduates. She's still fucking bad, hopefully. And then all the 30-year-old guys start hitting on her after she graduates college, because now she's in the dating scene. Now she's in the dating field. You guys see where I'm coming at? Girls always have social skills. It's very rare that a girl doesn't have social skills. So if you're a guy that's been avoiding having any sort of social skills until age 25, 30 years old, well, guess what, buddy? She has 2 decades on you. That's why women are so emotionally intelligent. Not only are they born with that gift, right, of emotion and understanding emotion, they're also experiencing life at an earlier age. They're also experiencing emotions at an earlier age. They're learning to communicate at an earlier age, not just because guys are hitting on them since they're like young, right, or flirting with them, but because as a girl, since the beginning of time, the only way to survive was through manipulation. Manipulation implies that you have to be so good with your emotions and in understanding emotions. And so, yes, girls do have the social skills, and it is a two-way street, 100%. But the way you're implying it here is that not all women have social skills, which is the very few. That's an exception to the rule that women do have those social skills. Okay? That's important, boys. That's extremely, extremely important. So, what the fuck's going on with this camera? You guys want to be careful with these things. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like how it happens, right? This is kind of what you guys want to be aware of these things. It's why you guys want to study these things. It's extremely important that you do. Okay. So this guy says, bro, dating isn't an accomplishment. It's a means to an end. Being good at dating is literally a pointless accomplishment. It's not a pointless accomplishment. The biggest investment any man is going to make in his life is what? His fucking wife, getting married. Okay? Who births his children, his offsprings? That's going to be arguably the most important decision that you make as a man. So it is an accomplishment. When you walk into a room with a girl who is respectable, men are going to respect you more because they respect that you got a good woman who's fucking bad. Okay? That is respect. And increasing respect is inherently an accomplishment. Okay? It's not a means to, it's as a matter of fact, I would say it is the end all be all. Why? Because you're fucking reproducing. We're put on this earth solely to reproduce. And literally, if you want to look at the grand scheme of things, if you fail to have children and reproduce, you're arguably the biggest failure in your bloodline. Your bloodline stops with you because you're a fucking faggot. because you refuse to go out and learn how to game women on modern dating scenes, right? And so these are the type of comments I like, right? Let's see what they reply to him. Oh, Rob, nice, dude. That's sweet. Awesome. Yeah, it is true. It's the most important decision in life. That's 100% right. Right? You ask some great questions. Very informative. Yes, thank you. Men do not own women anymore. Yet men are expected to invest time, resources, money, and protect women that don't belong to them. Okay. In dating, men must invest. In marriage, men must invest. In divorce, men must invest in women. Plus, the corporation with Valentine's Day and government with family, courts, and taxes. Men don't own women anymore. They are, and I think just stop there. I think it's going on a rant. But yes, you are right. Men don't own women anymore. I mean, technically speaking, we never owned women. Like if that's what you want, if you want to own women, I mean, I'm sorry, brother. That's a little like far-fetched, in my opinion. But this is a type of shit that just gets to me. All right? Because a lot of men have never experienced what true love is. A lot of men have never experienced what it's like to have a girl head over heels for you, okay? He says, men are expected to invest time, money, resources, and money. Men are expected to invest time, resources, money, and protection. Yeah, women also invest time, resources. Maybe not money, but they invest time, resources. For Christ's sakes, what they give you 9 months. Now, I'm not a blue pill guy, okay? I'm not blue pilled, saying, women should work, women's rights. No, I'm not saying that. All right? I'm saying that when you go to either extreme, if you're too extreme on the blue pill, or you're too extreme on the red pill, or you're too extreme on the black pill, you're too extreme on the whatever pill, you're probably a little cuckoo, no matter what extreme you're in. Any sort of extremity when it comes to these views are fucking nuts. Okay? And this is why the world is almost kind of failing. Right? This is why. Because nobody's willing to compromise. Nobody's willing to meet in the middle or say, oh, that guy's kind of reasonable. That makes kind of sense. Yeah, that makes kind of sense. That maybe maybe 2 or 3 women out of 100 are marriage material. That makes sense. Okay? And these guys don't want to compete. These guys do not want to compete to get these type of women. That's why the top 1, top 5, top 10% of men deserve all the women. Because they put in the fucking effort. All right, but yes, men are expected to invest time, resources, and money in protection. All right. Now, this tells me, right, based on this comment, based on Geeby's 8989's comment, it tells me that he's never truly experienced any sort of girl investment on him. All right. I've had girls who've flown out to see me in different cities and out of their own pocket. They've driven hours to see me. For Christ's sakes, they've caught me cheating and asked me to take them back, even though I cheated. Women will do everything for you. Everything. They will go above and beyond. Okay? And just really quick, I came up with some really cool video ideas. So these upcoming videos that are going to be coming up this year are going to be fucking phenomenal. It's going to be like crazy videos, pre-planned. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of things that are kind of like out there, never seen before, right? Like pulling Amish women, dressing in full conservative gear and pulling liberal women and vice versa. All sorts of things that I'm going to be out there doing. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But anyways, when you guys make these type of comments, it's really sad because I want you guys to experience these things. I want you guys to see these things and say, oh shit. I never knew women would do this for me. They invest so much in a guy that they like. Okay? This is why women get head over heels. All right? So this is the most popular comment, by the way. So this needs to be addressed. Okay? This guy is selling a dream to get clients from Pearl's audience. He lying. It's so funny that he said he lying because Pearl literally said right here in this clip, she witnessed me pulling 3 girls in one weekend, and it came out of Pearl's mouth. And yet he says that I am lying. All right. Furthermore, if you guys watch the interview, Pearl says, what does Pearl says? Pearl says in the interview that all the dating coaches were pulling and the students were pulling. And they weren't the best looking. Okay? Yes, I do acknowledge. Do I have a sick jawline? Yes. Okay, cool. All right. Do I look pretty shredded right now? Yes, obviously, because I worked on myself all of last year. I bulked up to 250 pounds. I've literally lost 40 pounds since the beginning of this year, January 1st. All right. Yes, I recognize that I do have those privileges, 1000%. Okay. But who are the other dating coaches in PUAs studying? Guys like me. They literally sit down and they look from the outside. They take notes, like the guy from fucking, what's the guy with the fucking nerd? Reese's show, right? Reese's show nerd with notepad. This guy right here. Where is he? This guy right here. They literally sit down like this. And they take notes from the outside. These are all those fucking Reddit nerds taking notes. This is what they look like. When they see me and Brandon and all our students fucking pulling, this is what they look like. Yeah, taking notes. Because they don't fucking understand what it's like to be and get those signals. Okay, we'll go into that here in a second. This is actually a really funny meme. But guys, I am not lying when I tell you that your height, okay, your looks, where you landed in the genetic pool, none of those things matter once you truly understand the fundamentals of attraction, once you truly understand the fundamentals of confidence. None of those things fucking matter. Okay? And yes, I am selling a dream. What do you want me to sell? A nightmare? You fucking idiot. Of course I'm selling a dream. I'm putting hope in guys' heads. So this comment's the most famous, right? But this is he's so obsessed with denial. He's so obsessed with failing and denying himself any sort of win, right? That he said I was lying, even though Pearl herself said that me, the dating coaches, and the students were pulling during the boot camp. Just to give you an idea of how blind these guys are by hate, self-hatred, hatred towards the world, hatred towards women. All right, but why is my camera like just keep fucking C920 camera blurry Streamlabs? Let's see, boys. If anybody knows, let me know. Okay, here we go. Reddit coming in clutch. Go to device manager images. Unplug, go to the Windows. All right, I'll have to do this after the stream. You guys will just have to fucking put up with me for now. But, yeah, exactly, Rob. Why would a girl want to be around a negative motherfucker? I wouldn't. No guy wants to be around negativity. All right, guys, I hang out with the most successful men. I hang out with really successful individuals, and none of them like negativity. I have one friend who doesn't even like to watch the news for elongated periods of time because it's so negative and that impacts your psyche. Okay? If you're always watching negativity, if you're always in a pursuit for negative news, your brain is inherently, your subconscious is inherently going to get negative. It's inherently going to start being negative 24/7. Okay? And there's a phenomenon, right, called yes men around successful individuals. Right? You see this all the time where you say, oh, that guy's surrounded by yes men because he's successful. I mean, yes, there's part truth to it. But when you're successful, the last thing you want is a motherfucker telling you you can't do it. That's the last thing you fucking want. All right? And the truth is that guys who make it very far that are surrounded by yes men usually have to be really successful. Usually those guys are already self-reflective and self-aware enough to the point that they can realize when they have an issue and they can reach out to the appropriate person. Okay? I don't take advice from guys that are not where I want to be. Okay? And it's just funny where that negativity is so potent. If you guys have any negative individuals in your life, cut them off immediately. They are holding you down from your true potential. All right? This is why I'm so selective with who I work with. If you're fucking negative, you're done. You need to cut that out. Okay. This guy says he doesn't have a real job. How can he be trusted? All right, that's a fair point, right? Because when you say dating coach, that doesn't seem like a real job. I get that one. That one's passable. All right, I get it. It doesn't seem like a real job, even though we're performing God's work out here, right? So whatever. All right, this guy says you're totally lost. Thank you, Nikon. Nikon, wow, that could be I could get banned for that word. But yeah, Nikon, okay, never had an issue getting women. He's actually giving advice. Okay, shout out. Great questions. Yikes, straight coping. Yup. I'm one of his students. Shout out Loki. Oh my God. The beginning, he sells just take a shower, bro. This is what I'm talking about, right? Guys don't understand this type of stuff, right? Oh my God. In the beginning, he sells just take a shower, bro. I'm not selling just take a shower, you dumb nuts. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying being polished, taking care of yourself, putting on some cologne, putting on deodorant, brushing your teeth, losing weight, looking good, man. I'm saying that goes a lot further than a lot of things. Okay? Guys, any guy watching this, anyone, you can become an 8. All right? As a guy, you can become an 8. That's a pretty high fucking